People have this nasty habit of becoming and then looking back and wondering why it is that they became who they became. And while this may be a little bit circular, it brings into question what makes their life worth living. Most don't ask this question, including myself until recently. And I think three starter questions are really must be asked in order to establish any direction within one's life. The first being the physical, in a way, of what you will do with your life, the actions that you will take, and of course, why you will be taking those actions. And without it, I find that many people will develop some sort of mental disorder or some sort of depression because they have no reason to live the life they are currently in, to commit the actions they are loyal to get up every day. They don't care. And ultimately, why do you care about the academics you pursue, about the career you're involved with? Why do you do these things? And I think it's personal, and I think it's, in a way, it's arbitrary, whatever it is you do, because it's up to the individual to determine what they do, whatever it may be. And since it's up to individuals to determine what it is that they are doing, there is no right or wrong answer. And because there is no proper answer, everybody's kind of lost. Nobody asks the question of, what do I want to do? Even if you do have to go through some sort of existential dread for a given period of time, I think that's normal though. And you would prefer to go through that than not go through it and just sort of sit and dwell within the nothingness that is a goalless life. But what one does, I think a lot of the time, is never dwelled upon at all beforehand, before committing. And because of that, they have no reason to pursue what their life has in front of them. The other part of life, who they will keep around throughout their life. But I find that many people, just through happenstance, end up with given people in their life, don't ponder upon it whatsoever, and let those people dictate what they do and who they become. There is a quote about, you are the average of all your associates and friends. And to a degree, I think that's absolutely true. And in turn, it works inversely, that if you pick different people to be around, you will inversely become like those people. And I think that's a useful tool, but I just don't think people think who it is that they are around prior to actually committing to friendships or romantic relationships with these people. And of course, some of them cannot be chosen, relatives, but to a degree, once you're old enough, you can choose whether to be around them. But many people don't consider how the individuals within their life are actually influencing them. And because of that, people are arbitrarily around the people they happen to be around. There is no decision, there is no active desire to be around these people. It's just happenstance. They don't care about anyone that they're around. And I think a really good question to ask is, who should you keep around? Because you can cut many people off. If there's no valuable connection, why would you continue to entertain such a relationship? I'm not saying that it has to be useful. It can be a relationship of enjoyment or fun or a friendship, right? But at the very least, that has a reason. And you do have to consider that these people will influence who you become. Who will you become? Of course, it's influenced by your career, academics, your relatives, friends, but ultimately, you are the determining factor of who you become, the traits that you possess. You determine everything about yourself. If you actively think about it, if you have any introspection whatsoever, and begin to question why it is that you do things, you determine quite a bit of what you become. Or at the very least, you can have some influence, even if you're not necessarily in control of how a person will impact you, or how school will impact you, how your career will impact you. You can still look at how it is interacting with you, morphing you, and you can mold how something is molding you. And if you don't consider how things are impacting you, you will be impacted, and in a way, mindlessly so. You just have to ask, who is developing? Who are you developing into? Why are you developing into that person? Right? Discussing all these external things that are impacting the self. Who is developing? Who are you becoming because of these external pieces? Are you going to change particular external pieces to change the self indirectly? Are you going to be introspective and ruminate and change the self directly? There's two ways, indirect and direct. I think there are three things that you have to do. You have to observe what you're doing right now, who you're around right now, who you are right now. You have to analyze these things. You have to analyze what you're doing, see why you're doing it, who you are and who you're around. Why are you around them? Why are you your person? Why are you yourself? And then you have to apply some sort of plan. Oh, I want to be around these people. I want to be doing these things. I want to be this person. Figure out how you will be that person, and then start becoming that person. But what makes life worth living is literally the question why. Why you do anything gives life the meaning that you are in search of. And if you don't have an answer to why, then you, in a way, don't have any reason to live. Not saying you have a reason to die, because your reason to live isn't happiness. If it was, then any upset moment would result in some sort of suicide. The reason for living and a life worth living isn't one of joy or happiness, it's one of purpose. And while purpose can give you happiness to some degree, I think it's a little bit inappropriate to equate these things. Simply because some things are very fulfilling while also being rather challenging. Some things necessarily have negative emotions, but they bring of incredible results. Becoming your best self probably will require some sort of self-analysis and destruction of some piece of you, and that very well could be difficult in a physical, emotional, a couple of different ways. Whether it be the physical, breaking down at the gym, the dieting that'll come with that. It can be difficult. There can be a physical pain there. The emotional pain that can come with removing individuals from your life that are very it can be painful removing a parasite. But removal of that parasite can be beneficial and will be beneficial. Happiness and positive emotions are not the reason for living. Why is the reason for living? Which is very vague because it's so specific to the individual.